Hey guys, Professor here, and today we're going to talk about some different ways that you can make Meseta in PSO2 NGS right now, and kind of give some projections on things in the future that you might be able to make money off of, kind of around Stia release in December. So of course, with cosmetics from AC scratches and whatnot, that's going to sell really high for most items, but we're not going to include things that require real money. We're going to go things strictly for what you can get in game. So for the first activity, we have Cannonball Strike or Rumble. So both of the Cannonball modes that can be found in the Kavaris region. So both of them can give two augment types, Super Capsules and Decold Standard Capsules. For the Decold Standards, you specifically want the Tier 3 version. So this right now sells around 60,000 Meseta, and it kind of varies up to like 85,000. The reason why this sells so much is because it can be turned into Decold Mites, Techs, or Precisions, which have 2.5% potency and has this low temp resistance for the Ragered Gorge. But in addition to that, these were previously only crafted through Blizzardium and Icicle Cubes, which were some rare minerals or took quite a bit of time to get. But now you can circumvent that by doing these Cannonball modes and getting lucky with one of these to drop for you. Then we have the Super Capsules, specifically Super Might 1, Super Technique 1, and Super Precision 1. These all sell for around 20,000 Meseta each, and are actually quite common when you do these Cannonball modes. And you can get, in addition, other super capsules which sell for around 5,000 up to this 20,000 mark. So it's some little extra cash while trying to work for those standard 3s, or even getting some cosmetics like accessories or motion changes from this. For the next activity, we have Dark Falz Rank 2. So in this, you fight Dark Falz, and you have some extra conditions than normal, like you can't die as much, and also a reduced time limit. Once you end up finishing this quest, you have a chance of getting some pretty nice stuff, including rugged weapons, Ephitus armor, Soul 3 capsules, and Soul 4 capsules. So all of that, especially the gear, of course, is heavy RNG, but if you do manage to get it, you can make millions off these rugged weapons, just depending on which one that you get. And then with the Ephitus armor, you can make 5 to 10 mil with those. But then the neat thing with this as well is if you want some more guaranteed cash, you can actually just sell the quest triggers to other people that want to take that chance. So you can make around 40,000 per trigger, and you can get these from Emperappies or the more guaranteed way in the Alliance Bad Shop or talking to Tim. On to the next activity though, we have Combat Zones or PSE farming. So with all of the combat sectors this month, we're getting higher levels for them. So level 60 versions for each and every combat zone. So if you do those, you get a whole bunch of raw Meseta or guaranteed Meseta just through enemy drops. But also you can get Strugments, which sell kind of low, but you get a whole bunch and can sell it for a ton of Meseta. And then also you can get those rugged weapons and Ephitus armor there. There's also the new 7-star series Obsidia that you can get there that can drop from enhanced enemies level 60 plus, but it is also a very rare drop, but can be given out guaranteed when we get the Ordinal Tower mode later this month on, I believe, the 26th or 7th. So expect these to drop in price in particular because of that. But I would say the main objective of these combat areas is to PSE burst farm. So getting PSE burst once you fill up that PSE burst gauge, and then also getting lucky with encores or even PSE burst fortes. And what's nice about these is that they've been adding a whole bunch of new ways to increase your chance of getting these PSE bursts, such as like the gauge not decreasing as much, and also certain trials will just instantly give you a burst, like with Ina and Manon trials. And then for the next activity, which you kind of do in combat zones, is Captan Farming. So in any zone of the game, there's these trials that spawn that can give you captains. So these captains are little ball-like enemies, which when you kill them can give you a whole bunch of different capsules, including Dread capsules, Giga capsules, and Mastery capsules. These give you up to the tier 3 versions of each, and with Mastery 3, this sells for 170k a pop on ship 3. And then for Dreadkeeper 3s, this can give you 80,000 plus. I've seen it vary quite a bit, up to like 100,000. And then for the Gigas 3s, these kind of vary quite a bit depending on which ones, but they've taken kind of a hit and have gone down to around 20,000 Meseta, but nothing. A little explanation on how to do Captan Farming is you go to any combat zone that you want to go to and put up a password for your room. So it can be anything that you want it to be. like just a random string of things or something specific, and you set your password. And then usually you go around from E to E until a trial spawns. And if that trial has a captain, then you bring friends along to enter the same password, and you guys can all benefit from that captain. But if you are playing solo or not with a group of people, then you can just do combat zones as normal with no password, and you can occasionally find captains to spawn in trials. Moving on to a big one here is killing Gigantix. Gigantix are the purple enemies or malevolent enemies that can be found during storms all across the map in each of the exploration zones or through purple triggers. So there's one purple trigger for each of the zones called a something devastator based on the region that it's in. This is going to be the most guaranteed way to farm these Gigantix since the storms are pretty much random throughout the day. But with this, you want to do the highest rank 3 if possible, if you are that max level 65. But the reason these are so good is not just because of cosmetics that you may be able to get throughout them, but because of Gigantix 4 capsules. So this includes things like Gigas Technique 4, Gigas Precision 4, and Gigas Might 4. And all of these sell for around 700,000, 800,000 a pop. But with this is the hardest content in the game currently, as it's a max level activity requiring some decent gear already. And with these Gigas 4s, they are a chance drop, but I wouldn't say it's too bad. I would say it's more like an uncommon drop that you get every few runs. So if you're one of those end game players, then I would highly recommend trying to go for these. And then for the last activity, which I wasn't sure if I should put on here or not, is Urgent Quests, or their Trigger Quest versions. So with these, you get tier 4 capsules guaranteed, and you get 3 of like a soul 4, or if you're doing a mining rig, you get the stat 4s and 3 of those. Unfortunately with these, because they are guaranteed, they've been dwindling quite fast. So like these technique 4s are down to 17k now. These croc souls are still at like 33k, so it's decent, but they're going to continue to go downward, etc, etc. So if you want some extra cash for now, you can go for those since they're guaranteed, but I wouldn't rely on it for too long. But sometimes with these, you can get lucky and get a weapon camo. So like this Khazar Almaty color variant that you can get from the mining rig Kavaris UQ. This can sell for like around 6 mil. And then there's the Cuckoo Rosia Almaty, which is in the mining rig Ritem. And this is selling for like 11 mil, which is surprising. And there's like a whole bunch of different weapon camos for the different UQs that you may get, but they're quite rare. And with that, that is all of the ways of making good Meseta currently. But now let's kind of project into the future for around Stia release in December on what may change. But first off, of course, there's going to be some new kind of weapons and armor. Most likely 8-star weapons. I'm not exactly sure about armor since we just got 7-star armor. So it might be kind of weird to get into 8 right away with only a 5 level increase, even though it is a new region. Regardless of that though, people are going to move on to this new gear most likely and kind of drop everything else. So you're going to start seeing the 7 stars and whatever else that we've had in the past start to drop way down in price, and you won't be able to make as much money off of those. So you want to sell that earlier rather than later. And then we have the stat 4s and soul 4s. So with this, earning them through urgent quests now or with whatever else, you might want to stockpile these and wait until Stia release, because a lot of people are going to use these capsules to upgrade that new gear. So because of the supply being less and the demand being more, you might be able to make way more money if you just hold on to them instead of selling now. And then for the next thing on the list, I put Dreadkeeper 4s. So currently this doesn't exist in the game, but because we're getting a new region, we're probably going to get new veteran or dread enemies. And they're most likely going to drop Dread 4s. This is going to be the new sought after capsule instead of like Dread 3s or any of the previous ones. So I imagine those will drop in price, and the Dread 4s will be the main thing, which could sell very nicely. And then we have a new D-Heat or D-Hot capsule. So I imagine we're going to get something like the Gorge in Kavaris, where you had to get D-Colds to survive the elements, but for the opposite, for like heat or high temp damage. So to resist a certain area to where we have to kill like ancients again or do some other activity down there, or we're going to be like running through lava or something. So these kinds of capsules might be very good to go for in the beginning when people are all trying to rush to that end game activity. And then with Stia, I imagine there's going to be some new combat zones. So of course this is still going to be nice for like captains and raw Meseta farms with PSE bursts. but there's probably going to be some new drops in there as well, maybe some more 7 stars or just some other kind of fodder in there that could sell nicely in the beginning if you get on top of it. But then with these new combat zones, we'll most likely be getting captains again, but of higher level. And because they are higher level, they might have the potential of dropping tier 4 capsules. So like Gigas 4, Dread 4, and even Mastery 4, which would be huge. But I have no idea if they'll be changing captains like that for Stia or if ever. But then for the last thing, I doubt there will be a 6 augment slot that we'll have to use for Stia right off the bat. But I do imagine the 7 stars and maybe the new 8 stars will be able to get to plus 60 and kind of make everything else before it's obsolete. And probably along with that, because there's been a recent surge of, ooh, 3 stars are the best thing in the game, this is going to completely knock that out of the water. But let me know what you guys think of all of these projections, and of course if you have any additional ways of earning Meseta in the comments down below. I'll see you guys in the next one though. Peace.